Welcome to episode 2 of your man's favourite football podcast, the OnlyFanz football podcast. On today's podcast, we discussed a Conor Sammon doppelganger. We chatted about the FAI Cup, including a massive blunder from myself and Cran, the Olympics, the inaugural Hall of Fame segment, and lastly, the cult hero edition of Get It Out. And wherever you're listening, make sure to enjoy, subscribe, like, share, all that good stuff. And follow OnlyFanz on Spotify, YouTube and Instagram. Hit it, Stevie. Oh yeah.
My spidey senses tell me this is gonna get fucking tasty, baby.
I will love it if we beat them. Love it.
There's a slice of cheese with Nico Giantsopoulos.
I have a dream.
Arnie, cut!
Badler.
The fella in the green and white short.
The guys up in the joy have asked to be put back in their cells.
If you stop waffling, we might get some work done.
He has to go, blood. He has to go, blood.
Get out! Get out, Man United!
Origi!
Torres to give Chelsea a place in the Shane Long has done it.
Let me add a little bit of spice to that.
Is he a fucking spice?
My grandmother had wheels, she would have been a bike.
I think I'm a special one.
I'm the normal one.
I never knew Stoke were that good.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, we would like to welcome you to an experience that you will hopefully forget. Welcome, everyone, to the OnlyFanz football podcast with myself, Kieran, and
Adam. You're Cran.
Cran.
Yeah, I know you don't want to. I'm only making things awkward. And today we're going to be talking about the Olympic football. We have a great edition of Get It Out. We have the first ever edition of the Hall of Fame, which is going to be an experience for us all.
And a few lovely stories as well that I have to share with you all.
And we're going to talk about the Olympics, and we're going to talk about a bit about the Irish football as well, Cran. Is that okay?
Absolutely. No problem with that. No problem at all. I do watch a lot of Irish football in my spare time.
In your dreams. A blow-in.
I'm not blowing.
Hey.
No, because I watch when I can.
Okay.
I work 40 hours a week.
I have 3 kids to feed.
I have 3 small children.
I hope you don't. To be fair, if you do, it would be a surprise for us all. Not that you know.
How was your week, Adam?
It wasn't a bad week, Cran. I'm not gonna lie. Been a bit boring. The heat's been great. You know what I mean? The heat's really good. It's prime drinking weather, prime beer garden weather. Some might say.
Are you feeling hot?
Feeling hot? No, I'm not. Well, no, I'm still warm now.
Yeah.
I mean, what? How many degrees is it? About 23 degrees.
23. Yeah, it's still fucking.
How is it
sticky.
still fucking warm, man? It's humidity. It's like we're in Bella Horizonte or something. You know what I mean?
Look at me with the bucket hat on.
I know. Yeah. It's more like a Stetson. But yeah, I've had a good week. Watched a bit of Irish football. I went down. So when the heatwave first started, right?
Yeah.
Myself, Dave, and Cottle went down to Athlone in the car, and the Syrian heat was about 24 degrees. And I swear to God, Athlone Stadium's lovely, by the way. It's a nice, like, it's one stand, but it's huge. And the Shells fans down one end, the Athlone fans down the other. But when we walked into the stadium, when we walked up the steps, it was like being in Italy. It was like being in another country. Great, really good. 1-3 won in the end, so I was delighted. The FAI Cup even was this weekend, and we'll discuss that in a while. But yeah,
and
so
do Shells have their own Spinazzola?
No, not really.
And how was that loan? How was it? Was it a nice place?
It was lovely.
Is it?
It's Westmead is the best mead, as they say.
Yeah.
And how was your week?
My week, very eventful.
Okay.
Well, first of all, today I went down and I got myself 3 coffees for the boys here. Dave's here beside us. He's listening along. I don't know why he wants to listen to this, but what we're about to spoof out of us. But yeah, I got 3 coffees for the boys, and I brought them back. And the neighbour was outside as I was walking in, and he was like, "Are you going on a coffee run? Are you?" And I was like, "Yeah, I had to bring coffee back for the lads. One of my mates is coming over to record a podcast." And at that point, he was like, "Oh yeah, what's it called? How's it going?" And I was like, I knocked on the door and I went in very quickly and I was like, OnlyFanz, give it a listen. And then I walked in.
Subscribe to our OnlyFans.
I walked in and I didn't hear back from him again. I just walked in.
You'll never hear from him again.
Yeah,
either.
hopefully. A very awkward
I
confrontation.
genuinely thought that was going to go towards, and he asked me to get him coffee.
And he asked me to come on the podcast.
I'll listen to the podcast if you get me bacon brew coffee. So yeah, you got coffee for the lads.
Yeah. But before that, I've been building up this story for Adam to tell him in the podcast all week.
Whole week.
And I feel like it's going to just flop completely.
It's either going to be the best story ever or the worst story ever. It's going to be no in between.
But anyway, I went to meet the lads last Sunday. Adam, Dave, Newman, the rest. Actually, shout out to Newman before I forget. Shout out to Newman for bringing us out to IKEA that time.
Podcast title of last week.
Yeah.
So for anyone listening who's not enjoying, you can send your emails to Sean Newman. No, one Newman, what a fella! Thanks for taking us to IKEA.
Yeah. But yeah, we were in the lad's house, my brother's house. Adam, Dave was there, and we all watched the golf. We watched the Open final round, and I went off to Toners after. I'd been on the set for about 4 nights straight at that point. So I was at a 21st the day before or something, and I went great, you know yourself.
Or something.
Say that for the real OnlyFans. But no, it went great, and I went out to Toners after I met with the lads. So I was gargled at this point. And I went in, I met Tom, one of my mates, a big football fan as well. Shout out to Tom.
Big listener.
Yeah, big listener to the podcast as well. Spurs fan. And I showed him. What are you laughing at?
Spurs.
I showed him the intro to the podcast. This was the day before it was released, mind. Alright, so I showed him the intro. And we went in and we went to try and get into Toners, okay? Now, I had never had a problem before getting into Toners.
Okay.
Because I was there three days prior. I was there twice in a week.
A resident of town.
Yeah, I'm a resident of town at this point. So I was like, I love this spot now. I love the beer garden. Mm-hmm. So I brought Tom along into Towners. Next of all, this fucking wanker of a bouncer is at the door. Alright? And
he wasn't nice, was he not?
This is the football reference in the whole story.
Okay.
He had a big, round, ball-shaped head, and he was a big, tall, lanky figure. The image of Conor Sammon. Do you remember Conor Sammon?
Yeah, feed the salmon will score.
And I'd say he had the striker instincts of him as well. He was a shite bag, honestly. Absolute prick.
Couldn't finish his dinner.
The fella, we go in and we're like, we need a table for 2, please. The place was empty. The place was empty. And he goes, sorry lads, over 22s tonight. And
a Sunday?
Of a Sunday.
For fuck's sake.
And I go to him, is over 22s even a thing? Did you just make that up on the spot? I've never heard that before in my life. Over 22s. What the fuck? I go to him and he goes, he just walks away. And I go to Tom. He was the image of Conor Sammon, wasn't he, Tom? And Tom just cackled to himself because he was the fucking image of Conor Sammon. And who knows, it could have been Conor Sammon.
I haven't heard of him playing football in a long time.
Yeah.
So it could very well be.
So my preposition for this, or my proposal to name this episode, the Conor Sammon.
The Conor Sammon. You know what, that's
fair. And I think that's rational enough. You know, you have another name in mind.
Well, yours is quite funny, so I don't want to bring the mood down. But I was going to name it. Well, I wanted us to name it after the. So did you see the mist? There was Bayern were playing Ajax in a friendly on Saturday. I know you were out golfing, so it's a rhetorical question. I know you didn't. In the game, it finished 2-2, right? And this 20-year-old, I think his name is Joshua. Now I'm gonna butcher the name. He's Dutch. Zirkee. Zirkee. Now, as far as I know, he's a good footballer. I haven't really watched him, so I don't know. But he threw on goal, gets around the keeper, and from about 3 yards out, he missed. Right now, it's hilarious. It's funny. You know what I mean? It's friendly. But so on Sunday, he blacked out his profile on Instagram and Twitter because he was getting so much abuse, like racism and stuff like that. So that's why I wanted to call it. But I think Conor Sammon's a better name. Yeah. And God bless you, Joshua. You know what I mean? It's a tough weekend.
So anyway,
football at the minute's horrible with the likes of football Twitter. You know what I mean? It's disgraceful.
Yeah, it's awful. We'll talk about that a bit later, maybe.
Yeah, we will. Yeah, definitely.
Now to wrap up the story, anyway, myself and Tom, we went and we sat outside O'Donoghue's, fairly nice place, and the bouncer there he goes, the ID lads, we're quite young lads, we look young in the face. So he's
That's a
like,
compliment.
ID lads, and I was like, yeah, grand. And then I go, we were just down the road in Toners, and we seen a fella image of Conor Sammon at the door, and the fella's like, who? And I go, do you watch football, do you? And he goes, of course I do. And I go, image of Conor Sammon. And then I said, anyway, he didn't know who Conor Sammon was, and I go, follow the OnlyFanz podcast, please. And you'll find out who Conor Sammon is.
He definitely didn't follow the podcast.
Yeah.
Definitely
No, he didn't. But look, we had a few points, and that was it. That was
Happy
today.
days. That was your weekend.
Yeah, beautiful.
It was actually, you know what? It was a good story.
Thanks very
I
much.
appreciate that.
Anyway.
The suspense was killing me now, I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was gonna be someone like when we were talking about it, and you're like, oh, it's about football and that, and I was like, oh fuck, what could this be? Could literally be anything. And Conor Sammon was not what I expected. So props. Good
So
story.
are you pleasantly surprised?
I'm pleasantly surprised. It was a good story. So, what you want to talk about now? We start with the Irish football, will we?
Yeah.
We'll go domestic, because Ireland aren't at the Olympics for football. So the Irish football this weekend, I watched it, and I had a terrible time watching it because Shells lost to UCD. We're out of the cup. Don't look too unhappy.
And Shells are boss in the league as well. So
yeah, we're 11 points clear at the minute, but with it being Shells, anything could happen.
Yeah.
So when we went up in 2011 or 2012, 2011, and we won the FA Cup. Just the little editors now, after listening to the edit with Cran, Shells didn't win the cup that year. We actually lost on penalties, and I feel like a fucking fraud. We're laughing here, but I'm actually fuming I got that wrong. Because it was actually one of the worst days of my life as well. I don't know why I remember it so fondly. Like, we literally lost on penalties to Sligo after going 1-0 up. Philly Hughes, shout out Philly Hughes.
And shout out the Olympian who's in the swimming final, who's from Sligo.
It all ties in. What's her name again?
Mona McSherry.
God bless you. I hope she wins tomorrow.
Yeah.
This is being recorded on Monday the 26th. I feel like such a fraud now. I feel like Ty from I'm gone now. You can keep all this, and this is great, but I feel like such a fraud. Apologies. I love Shells, you know what I mean, and I actually feel bad now. FAI Cup, the same season as we got promoted. So like a lot of fans were like, come on, put the strongest team out, push the boat out. We didn't really. There's a few changes, whatever, and we done shit. We got knocked out. So that was one of the first results. A cracking result in Athlone, right? So waiting to hear this. Finished 4-4, okay, between Athlone and Waterford, right? And I don't know whether you remember this footballer who played for Wolves in the Premier League circa 2012. Greg Halford, big tall centre half, about 6'5".
No, I don't.
So anyways, he signed for Waterford, and he scored. He signed for Waterford at like 6 o'clock. Played the game, scored. Like, the game was a mad game. Finished 4-4, and Athlone lost on penalties in the end. So then the other results, like Bows went through, Rovers went through.
Bows won 5-0 against Corinthians.
Corinthians.
I didn't know Bows played in Brazil.
A college team, but they went through nonetheless. So I'd actually fancy Bows to do it this year, because they haven't.
They're going
done
well.
anything in a long time. So
Going very well.
The
bald bomber, Georgie Crownin.
Georgie Kelly as well.
Or Georgie Kelly, sorry.
You have to leave that in. And then we have, like, there was.
I look like such a fucking plastic now, but I know who he is. Don't worry. For the people that are slating me at the
Pats
moment.
beat Brace 6-0, and it shows the actual, like, divisions between the Fourth Division and Premier Division. I think Pats winning 6-0 is mad, and Pats have been good this season, to be fair. Bray have been awful. Best thing about Bray is the curry chips. I swear to God.
And Katie Taylor.
And Katie Taylor as well. They have Katie Taylor. What else? What are the results? Minute won 4-0 against Malahide. Right. Two places who, you know, you wouldn't assume have teams, but they're not professional, obviously. And then
Sure, I go to Malahide for a bag of chips the odd time.
You go to Malahide for a point as well. It's a nice spot.
Yeah, it's lovely.
And then, so the shock of the whole round came in the last game yesterday. Sligo lost 3-2 to Cork at home. Cork being second bottom in the league, and I think it's gas. Cork are really falling apart. It's lovely. It's beautiful. For anyone from Cork who's listening, I hope you're having a dreadful time. And so that was the FAI Cup, anyways. Like, the likes of Rovers, Pats, Dundalk, Bows, they all went through.
And what about Pats are top with Rovers at the moment.
Yeah, Pats are having a great season.
I have a mate who's a Pats fan, and he says they run themselves into the ground So I wouldn't be surprised to see Pats win something. I think Pats could do it, but I don't think Bows. It depends on their consistency at the end of the season. If they're good, consistent enough, I think they will.
Well, I'm gonna go on record now, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say.
You don't think Shells have a chance?
Well, Shells are knocked out, me. We lost 2-0 to UCD.
Oh, UCD. Yeah, you said that. Sorry.
So, so I do think Bows. I think Bows and Rovers. I think a Bows and Rovers final would be good for the league. It'd be good for advertising and stuff. Bows probably wouldn't win, but I can envision that being the final.
Right.
And actually, the biggest result of the weekend,
I'd probably go
for any Dirty Michael fans. Leicester won 1-0. Leicester are through to the next round. Dirty Michael, he's like the Wellstone Raider of Leicester. You wouldn't give us a lift to Leicester.
I've changed my opinion. Leicester are going all the way.
Don't you know? Pump it up. We're gonna win the cup. Leicester are gonna win it now. For Dirty Michael and Dirty Michael. I wonder how he's getting on it now. I wonder is he still dirty?
Are the Monaghan still in it?
No, Monaghan are bust. The Monaghan do 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 do. The Monaghan do 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 do. The Monaghan do 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 do. The Monaghan.
Shout out Senator McCaig.
Yeah, the only native from Monaghan we know.
The Olympics, everyone. The holy grail of sports. At least if you're not on drugs.
A lot of them are on drugs, aren't they?
A lot of them are. But it's great. It's a great fucking watch. I've been watching it for the last few days now. We're about 3 or 4 days in. I watched the opening ceremony on Friday, and I was fucking baffled when I seen the Uganda team walk out with the flag, and there was they were doing a native dance, and you wouldn't fucking believe this. I'm not joking. A fair Irish girl was going for Uganda.
I'm delighted with that.
She was doing the tribal dances, and people are reaping the rewards of multiculturalism here, and we are as well, because we have lots of people going for Ireland that are from other countries or have backgrounds from other countries.
Well, I think someone who won the badminton this morning.
Yeah.
Wasn't your man? Nat is his name, I think.
Nguyen.
Nguyen. Nguyen. Yeah.
But no, she was full on doing this dance, and she was born in Uganda, but she has an Irish background, and she had a big Irish name. But she was just in amongst it, and it was great to see.
You love to see it, yeah.
It's class to see. And look, I've been watching it for the last few days, and I have to say the highlight of the week, before we get into the football, the highlight of my week watching the Olympics has been the Irish basketball commentator on RTE. He's a fucking gas cunt. I fucking love him. I was watching the USA versus France I was watching USA versus France there the other night, and every time a dunk went in, he was just like, "From downtown!" And he had this big cork.
Oh my god, he's on an alley-oop.
He had this big Cork accent on him, and he just goes, "Boom shakalaka, Kevin Durant." I was in fucking stitches watching it. But France fucking beat the USA. It was fucking gas.
They beat them?
They beat the USA in the basketball, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
3 games in a row now.
Yeah.
USA?
Yeah. They lost the 2, sorry for cutting in. They lost the 2 games to start off qualifying.
Mental.
Just warm up, sorry.
They should get Megan Rapinoe in, shouldn't they?
To play basketball.
She thinks she's better than.
They should get the fucking core commentator in to give them a bit of inspiration.
A bit of motivation.
He's a fucking legend.
From downtown.
Fair play to him. RTE, one of the highlights of RTE, and there's not many, is that commentator.
Yeah, very true.
But anyway, look, the football, I don't know what your thoughts are on it. Well, personally, I couldn't give a bollocks, and I'm sure many people
I couldn't give a rat's.
Yeah. But it is a thing, the Olympics under 23 football.
Yeah.
And I haven't been keeping up to date with it at all.
I mean, we talked about this last week, didn't we? And for people who are listening, if you see the Instagram post maybe tomorrow, there will be, you still have the Olympic graphic, don't you, Don?
I do, yeah.
Yeah, we'll whack that up as well, and you can see.
I'm going to make a few changes to it, actually.
That's okay.
It's a bit,
well, no one's seen it yet, so it's only us. It's our little secret. So we were like, we'll do an episode on the Olympics because, there's good players gone there. Like, the Spain team is more or less nearly the Spain team that played the Euros. It's mental, like, you know what I mean? Like Pedri's playing.
The poor fucking bloke Pedri. He's like a fucking. He's a labourer for
He's a pack
Spain.
mule, isn't he?
Yeah.
Do you see how many games he played this season?
68 or something.
68th game yesterday.
And he
They
hasn't
won
had a
1-1.
holiday. He's just like, fuck it, lads. I'm playing for Spain.
None of us have had a holiday.
Yeah, none of us had a holiday.
But yeah, so I found it very difficult to access the football. It hasn't been on anywhere.
I actually hacked it. Yes,
Okay.
this morning. I was like,
Broke the code.
Eurosport
Mhm.
have a red button feature if you have Sky.
Oh, I don't have Sky.
Well, you can go into the football that way,
Okay.
so you can watch it that way. So if
Oh,
you do
lovely.
have Eurosport and you're listening, you can watch the football on the red button on Eurosport.
And if you do have Eurosport and you don't have Sky, just watch on Live Score or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
Keep up with it somehow. I'm sure the final will be on. Like,
or watch it on the teletext.
I'm sure there's gonna be. I'm sure the final. Like I said to you the other day, that I think the final will be Spain and Brazil. I think. I mean,
Yeah,
knock obvious who's there. But like
Germany are shy, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're conceding so many goals.
Germany are bad. Like there's a few teams in it that are really bad.
And
Like
France are shy as well.
France are awful. as well.
Geekenhack
Geekenhack with a hat trick though.
against South Africa.
Certificate.
Yeah, South Africa.
3 goals and an assist he got. That's what you call a clutch player for an over. However, he's about 35.
Yeah,
So
he's
that
like
was good to be fair to him.
he's a pound chop Giroud
Yeah.
or something. Like they bring him in.
Oh, he absolutely is.
Yeah,
Do you remember when he first came into the setup for France? It was when they went on handballed against Ireland. And he, in the game in Crow Park, I'm really sure he scored as well. And like people were like, because this is after like Zidane headbutt Materazzi or whatever his name is. And people were like, Gignac, Andre Pierre Gignac is going to be the next Zinedine Zidane. So he spent about 3 seasons at Marseille, and then he moved to Mexico and has been seen since.
he's with the cartel.
What the fuck, like, you know what I mean? Now he has records and all. He has great records for France, but or for Tigre in Mexico. But
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'd say he's enjoying himself over there anyway. There's lots of stuff on offer over there that we don't have access to.
Too much stuff. Mexican supplements. He's gonna be looking like. Do you remember a man who fought Anthony Joshua? Big bear belly on. What was his name? Ruiz.
Yeah.
Have you seen him recently?
No.
He's in some shape.
Really?
Yeah. He either got jobs done on the stomach or he's been on like Mexican supplements.
That's what the World Championship does to you.
Yeah.
Or World Championship.
Went to the top.
The
It was like when Homer Simpson fought. Was it Mike Tyson in The Simpsons? Remember that? And then Homer Simpson gets dragged out. Except it was like roles reversed and Anthony Joshua got dragged out.
Oh Jesus.
Well, yeah. Any other thoughts on the
Olympics so far, I'm loving it. Hopefully the Irish athletes do a job anyway and get a few gold medals.
Any hopes? Who do you think will do well?
I reckon the 2 rowers, and you know her as well, Kelly Harrington.
Yeah,
she's
local. Yeah.
She has a chance.
I hope she does now. She's a great fighter. And
outside bet for a medal, maybe the badminton fella.
Yeah. Not in Guyan. Yeah,
I was watching him this morning. He's fucking
unreal.
whopper.
Yeah,
He's
I've seen
class.
a video.
So hopefully someone gets the job done anyway and get a medal.
Like we were talking about Kelly, who was local. Another local lad, Emma. He unfortunately lost yesterday, but he has a great story. You know, he paid his own way over and stuff, and credit union loans and all this. And he's a grafter. He's working part time, and just his luck. You know what I mean? He comes up against the number 1 seed in his weight division, and he just got beaten. You know what I mean? He got. You know what I mean? I think I don't know whether you were watching. I know you're out golfing. I was looking at it. On the first round, your man was Becky was really dominant, and then Emma kind of came into it in the second round, the third round, but just wasn't enough. And fair play to him for getting over. He'll always have the Olympian tag, whether he lost or didn't. You know what I mean? So
that's the same for everyone as well.
Absolutely.
And look at us. And look at them.
I know. We said that a lot last week, didn't we?
We say it a lot all the time, but
we're still there doing a podcast. We're literally talking about Olympians, and fair big up to Emma Brennan. You done really well, and unlucky. Maybe next time. I think you will go again. I'd say.
Yeah. And if there was a point Olympics, we'll get involved.
Yeah. Absolutely. This is the inaugural Hall of Fame induction. So what we're going to do here is we're both going to pick something. It could be completely anything, like, you know what I mean? It could be anything at all. And we're going to pit it against each other. Put it to the OnlyFanz fans. And they'll guess who's in. And what Cran's going to do, because Cran's a little genius with the computer and stuff, he's going to make like a wall. And like we're gonna put these Hall of Fame things on it. So whoever wins.
Is this a physical wall or
no fake wall? Yeah.
Okay. Good, because I don't need this room in here.
No, I don't think so. So do you want to do you want to pick your induction first? Inductee, should I say? What have you got for the Hall of Fame this week?
Ladies and gentlemen, my Hall of Fame inductee is Conor Sammon the Bouncer.
I can't beat that. There's no way I can beat that. Conor Sammon the Bouncer. I think, do you know what? I think even if he doesn't win, we just put him in it anyways. Fuck that. He's an absolute geezer. You know what I mean? Absolute legend, you know. Yeah, you're the image of Conor Sammon. No, I'm not. Could you imagine saying that to someone? Do you know that fella down there? He's the image of Conor Sammon. It's such a, you know, come here, Conor, if you're listening, you're more than welcome on the podcast. This is only a bit of banter, but
no.
He was alright in his day, to be fair. For Wigan, he was alright.
He was a good home player.
I don't know about that, Bill. But yeah, so you're going with Conor Sammon the Bouncer.
Yeah.
So what we're going to have to do now is we're going to have to get a picture of a bouncer and edit Conor Sammon onto it. So people know who's who. I had a few things. So I was got to say, like, Dave's new album, pretty fucking good, wasn't it?
Oh, it's
you're
class,
a music mogul, you know what I mean? So you're good with this shit. Really, really good album.
Beautiful storyteller is Dave. And
yeah,
very wise for his age.
He's a magician, isn't he?
Would love to have him on the podcast telling us a few stories.
I was going to induct him, but I'm going to have to go with... We were talking about the FAI Cup earlier. Yeah. And the magic of the cup is alive and well. So, Athlone... Remember we were talking about Athlone, Waterford, 4-all. Great game, extra time. Athlone lost some healthies. But they were losing the game. They were losing the game 2-0. I think at one stage it was... They were winning 3-2. And then Halford scored to make it 3-all. And then they were losing 4-3 in extra time. The last minute of extra time, former Shelbourne player Glenn McCauley, who literally went to Athlone was announced as a player of Athlone on Friday, started the game. I think he came on, scored 2 penalties, and did you see his goal? The last minute goal from the halfway line. So that's my induction. My inductee this week is Glenn McCauley's goal against Waterford. Work of art, like.
And who won that game in the end? The 4-all.
Waterford won. 4-2 penalties, I think they won. A fucking goal from the halfway line the last minute.
Yeah.
Where would you get it?
Fair fucking play to him.
Yeah. It's the best thing he's ever done.
So they're the 2 inductees, ladies and gentlemen. Conor Sammon, the bouncer, against
Glenn McCauley's goal versus Waterford.
So there you go.
In a game they lost. I think it's kind of funny they lost as well, though.
Yeah. Cast your votes on the Instagram page.
Coming soon.
We put up a question box on Instagram of what people wanted to see and get it out this week, and there was one winner.
There was a few good ones out to be fair, wasn't there?
There was
one of them. I actually can't remember who it was. I'm not gonna lie, but it was like a team of over 32-year-olds, and it was a great idea, and we will keep that for another one. You know, I think Dave said top 5 African players, which is just completely bizarre.
When the river runs dry, we'll use these.
Absolutely, but we'll put it up every week, and you know, don't be phased. Like, it will be used at some stage.
Yeah.
Or if you put one in, we will use. We're not gonna neglect people. That's what I'm trying to say. But this week we have Cult Heroes, and this was suggested by Conor of the Barstillers podcast from Dundalk, who we'll probably do a crossover with at some stage.
Yeah.
Good little podcast. Get onto on YouTube, Spotify. I think they're on Apple as well. We'll have to sort that out, but we will eventually. But yeah, he said Cult Heroes. So I didn't want to like say top 10 Cult Heroes, because no more than you want to be here all day. Neither do I. So we went with top 5. Well, we're going to lead with you, Cran. You have your Cult Heroes right now. Do you want to start at number 5?
Yes.
Go for it.
And this is a man who I thought was shite coming on the pitch against France in the Euros final in 2016. I didn't think when Ronaldo came off, I thought that's Portugal done. They're not going to win now. Ronaldo's off. But look who came out and shone like a diamond. Adair.
Yeah.
Big fella. Frame of Bafétimbi Gomes. Don't remember if you remember him.
Yeah, he's another Cult Hero. Yeah.
Frame of him. Huge fella. And he scored an absolute screamer to win the Euros. Yeah. And I just thought that's deserved of my 5th spot in this Cult Heroes list.
I think it's a great show, to be fair. I think he was when he came on, no one expected him to score.
No, not at all.
He just no bother to him. In France's home turf as well. You can't forget that, you know. But yeah, great show. Number 5 you have Adair. He moved to Swansea as well, I think, didn't he?
I think he
got
could
moved to Swansea. But he didn't do anything there because he's just a mediocre footballer. But cult hero status nonetheless for that
100%.
goal alone. So my number 5 pick was Jesus Navas.
Jesus Navas.
Yeah. Did you ever see his list of like accomplishments? He has 3 UEFA Cup / Europa Leagues. He has a World Cup. He has a European Championship. Last season in the La Liga, he was playing from right back for Sevilla, and he had the most crosses into a box all season. Yeah. I think all these stats are great. So that he'd be my number 5. I thought he was a great player.
Not a bad shout, to be fair.
Yeah.
I just thought, Jesus Navas, he was always understated at City as well.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
He is a good shout.
Yeah, a third of his appearances at City came from the bench, which says a lot for someone like him. And he only won the one league. He only won the one Premier League.
Mancini.
Yeah. And Pellegrini as well. He only got the one league, but I mean, one league's better than most. He has more league titles than Steven Gerrard. There we go. So what's your number 4?
You're putting yourself in the mud there. Why is that? Why didn't I say that?
I teed it up for you. You didn't nail it down.
Oh, too nice. Charlie Adam is my 4th pick for a cult hero. I just love his barrel figure.
Yeah.
Just run around the pitch, and as he got older, he got even bigger. And I thought, I admired the way. I admired the way he played football. Though he'd go out and he at the weekend he'd eat 3 pucker pies. He'd have
shout out Wayne Shaw of Sutton United.
He'd have 3 pucker pies before going out to play, and then he'd go into midfield and he'd score from the halfway line against Chelsea.
That goal against Chelsea.
That was a sensational goal. And I remember watching it just thinking, what can you do? It's Charlie Adam.
Yeah. You see, we're talking about left foot players. There's something so great about, like, Messi's best player ever. Left foot. Just unbelievable to watch. Now, I'm not comparing Charlie Adam to Lionel Messi in the slightest.
It sounds like, yeah.
And you had, what's his name? Charlie Adam, yeah. Did you ever see his corner against Burnley? And he just falls over the ball. I think it's enough. I think his goal against Chelsea is enough for cult hero status.
He was actually a great footballer in his day.
No, he was.
For Stoke, he was or Blackpool then.
Yeah.
Blackpool, and then when he went to Liverpool, he deteriorated a bit.
I think, do you know what it was with the move to Liverpool? I just think it was too big of a move. I think he was a great player, a great little player, but I think the step up was just too much and he just couldn't perform to a level, you know.
But anyway, you're 4th. Who do you have?
I'm gonna have to get it now. Hold on. Oh yeah. So I have. Oh jeez, I don't know butcher's name. Hold on a second. It's like Japanese legend Hitoshi Nakata. What do you think about that one? I bet you didn't expect that.
Now, I hadn't heard this fella before, so I don't think most of the listeners would have heard this fella. So I think you should give a bit of backstory on him.
So basically, he's acclaimed to be one of the best Japanese players, like best Asian players ever. So he moved to Italy. Did you ever see the Parma kit, the really famous Parma kit with Champion sponsor and the Carmela? Like, it's a great kit. And he had the blonde hair. That's him. And he's a great player. And he hates Juventus. He despises them because he scored in a 2-2 draw. I might put the goal up on social actually as well. It's a good goal. Yeah. He scored in a 2-2 draw against Juventus. And Roma then went on to win the league by 2 points. He got a goal against Juventus again in a 2-legged cup tie for Parma, and they won the cup. So he is really famous in Italy, anyways.
Yeah.
He ended his career at Bolton, right? And guess what age he retired at?
42.
29.
Oh.
And do you know why? The reason he stayed for retiring, just fell out of love with the game. He just stopped loving the game, and that happens when you play with Sam Allardyce and Bolton. Well, he's a hell of a player. Yeah. You should really, if anyone's listening, look into him because he's great.
Sam Allardyce just drained every ounce he had of love. That's depressing.
Oh god. Yes, that's my number 4. Anyway, so do you want to take away your number 3?
My number 3, another Asian player, and that is Ji-Sung Park.
Oh, well, we better get some fucking listeners in Asia this week.
Yeah.
I'm telling you now, that he's a great player.
Man United, I would go as far as saying Man United legend.
Yeah, definitely.
In his time.
There's a few shouts from him as well from other people. Yeah. Just to let you know.
Yeah, absolute workhorse of a player. Mm-hmm. Just putting in a shift every game he played in. and he was an absolutely great player. I think you wouldn't see him for 10 games, and then Sir Alex would just bring him off the bench, or he'd bring him from the bench one of the games to play the whole game, and he put in an absolute shift. He'd be like a Japanese soldier in 1945, just absolutely relentless player.
The Japanese soldier. Oh, for fuck's sake!
Never given up. That's what they were like.
Oh man. Oh, that's what they were like, wasn't it? Oh, you cracked me up, man. But it was a great show. And I think the term cult hero defines him, and even a legend. I'd go as far as say he's a legend. But yeah, great show.
Yeah.
What do you want to say?
No, I was just gonna say he single-handedly, I think myself, he's the reason they won the Champions League in 08.
Yeah.
Was it 08 or 09 or
the Moscow one?
Yeah, because he stopped Barca playing in Old Trafford and they got the win. But that's just me.
Scholes, Scholes got the goal there, didn't he? Paul Scholes.
Paul Scholes. Right, number 3, Adam.
Maxi Rodriguez runs down the wing for My number 3 is Max Rodriguez.
Yeah, I remember
what
Maxi.
A player.
I remember Maxi towards the end of his career.
Yeah.
But he was a bit before my time, I'd say.
He was a great player, right? I keep saying these goals for people to look up. But like his goal, if you're looking up any goal, his goal against Mexico, 2006 World Cup. Mwah, chef's kiss. Unbelievable. I swear to God. Came to Liverpool and he got about 3 hat-tricks in about like fucking 6 games. Some unbelievable. Fulham, Birmingham. Great player for Liverpool. Really enjoyed him. And yeah, so he's my number 3 cult hero. I would genuinely have a statue of Max Rodriguez built. That's how much I love him. And he still loves Liverpool to this day as well.
Really?
Yeah, he's a geezer now. I have to say, I really have a lot of time for Max Rodriguez. Captain by Let's Go Madrid for a long time as well. So
who did he play for? Argentina, wasn't it?
Argentina, yeah.
I remember him from Argentina and World Cups and stuff, but I wouldn't really remember him that well, to be honest. But I remember he was a good little player.
Very good.
Good in the ball.
Very good player, yeah. Your number 2?
My number 2, John Obi Mikel.
Mikel's a baller, man.
Mikel, my opinion, he wouldn't play too often, but when he did play, he'd have a job on the pitch and he'd stick to his task.
Yeah.
He would not give an inch to his opponent. He had that winning mentality ingrained in him that Chelsea team had from the period of 2003 to, what was it, 2012, 2013 when they all retired. So he was in there and he had it ingrained in him. And that's what was great about him, because he stayed on for a while then and he got to teach younger players how to do it. And like, I remember his goal against PSG as well, from the corner. You wouldn't expect him to score goals, because that's the type of player he was. He wouldn't score goals. Yeah. But he scored that night, and it was a vital away goal. I think end up losing in the end, David Luiz's header.
Yeah.
But look, I love John Obi Mikel. Always have, always will.
I remember watching John Obi Mikel in like the Confederations Cup. Did you ever see the Confederations Cup? So it's before the World Cup, whatever.
All the winners.
Yeah. And he was playing the 10 for Nigeria. And I was so surprised. But the way he played, he's such good football. He was a really good footballer. I really enjoyed him. So, great shout again. Yeah.
Nigerian Prince
John Obi Mikel.
Anyway.
I think he's in politics, actually.
Yeah.
I
think he's running. He's running for something.
Yeah, I think. Well, he ran a lot, didn't he?
He ran his bollocks off, and now he's running for president.
Yeah, I hope he gets it. We are John Obi loyal OnlyFans. Support John Obi. We're holding our hands up in unison right now. So
and your number 2
has to be the one and only Michu. For anyone, I know it's an audio podcast or audio. I don't know what I'm saying, but like, I'm doing Michu's celebration behind the microphone here. What a player! What a player!
That one great season. I think Swansea won the cup with him, didn't they? Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. He came in, right, and it was like, Michu, who the fuck, like, and he was just a baller. He just came in. I think he had 13 goals and 8 assists that season. Won the League Cup with Swansea, that was Swansea's first and only ever major trophy.
Yeah,
which is great accomplishment. And then, like, another reason for me is, did you ever see, obviously Erling Haaland, his football idol is Michu.
Really?
Yeah. Did you ever hear that?
No, I didn't.
He said in an interview before that he would like to meet Michu to say thanks because he would not be a footballer without Michu. It's a great story, isn't it?
That's a great story, yeah.
So that's...
I just think Michu, like you'd have those odd fellas who had Michu in from the start on Fantasy Premier League.
Oh, yeah.
And they'd score about 30 points in one weekend with him. Because he'd just score loads of hat-tricks and stuff. And you wouldn't be expecting him to do something like that from the start. But he was stuck in from the start. And then he ended up leaving at the end of the season, didn't he?
He kind of fell out of form and they left.
Yeah.
Bit of a sad ending.
What a
player.
cameo.
You know what? We'll give him a round of applause. So what's your number one?
My number one is Dimitar Berbatov.
Wow. What a show.
Yeah. I just think he was such an elegant player.
Yeah. So laid back.
A lovely player to watch. Didn't really get any of the plaudits. But he came from Spurs and he went to United.
Yeah.
And he scored a heap of goals for them.
Yeah.
And then I remember watching him towards the end of his career and he was playing for Monaco against Arsenal.
Yeah, he was just
and
strong
he
on pitch.
absolutely run amok.
Yeah.
And he was a slow bastard, but he ran amok. He just slowed the game down to his pace.
That's it. I don't know what I ever seen in the past. I think Scholes passed him. He was against Blackpool. And like Scholes was passing out to the fullback. And Berbatov was like standing innocuously there. And he just like leans over, puts his leg back and takes it out of the sky. And that was the type of player he was. He's such a graceful player.
Yeah.
And scored great goals.
Like he wouldn't be mentioned, even for United fans as well, he wouldn't be mentioned as one of their top players. Even I remember my dad, he'd be a fickle United fan. You know, he'd dip in and out of it. So he'd come in and he'd be like,
I'd say he's over now.
Yeah.
Or every United fan's over now.
No, but he likes United. So he'd come in and he'd watch United and he'd pick out Berbatov and he's shy, he's so slow on the ball. Yeah. But he's the type of player, he's just a bit lethargic. Yeah. But if you actually if you watch him, he's just
the way he plays.
Lazy.
Yeah.
But it's beautiful to watch.
Yeah.
I love Berbatov.
That's a solid top 5. So do you want to run through it real quick before I go to my number 1?
So my top 5 is Adair, Charlie Adam, G. Son Park, Mikel John Obi, and Dimitar Berbatov.
Decent 5 side.
Yeah.
That'd be a hell of a
and then me up front, 6 aside.
I'll jump in goal, make it a 7 aside. So my number 1, and surely you know what it is. Do I have to tell you? You'll know, by knowing me, you'll know what my number 1 is.
It's Divock, isn't it?
It's Divock Origi! Origi! Pickford drops out! Divock Origi, man. I think that if you look up the term cult hero in the Oxford English Dictionary, a picture of Origi scoring against everything comes up. What a man. Look, come here. I can't sing his praise enough.
You were at that game, weren't you?
I was at that game. This is one... See the way we were talking about earlier about the FAI Cup final loss against Sligo being one of the worst football memories I have. One of the best I have is that derby. And Everton played us off the park. Everton were unbelievable that day. Couldn't score. They couldn't, you know what I mean? They couldn't finish their dinner. They were shy. And then Origi's lining up. And we had Napoli like the week coming for the Champions League. Now this is the season we won Champions League. And so Klopp was kind of like rotating players or whatever. And Origi hadn't been on the bench, I'm pretty sure, all season, maybe once, but he hadn't played. So when Origi came on, and Origi actually has a great record against Everton before this, which is funny. You know what I mean? It's as if Klopp went, he scored against Everton before, go on, throw him on. And I said to Dave, we were sitting in the stadium, and Dave's sitting here now, I was like, if Origi scores, I am running around this place and because he's not scoring. I thought he was brutal. He still is brutal. But he's the love of my life. Comes on, Pickford couldn't catch it, Origi scored. And I swear to God, you throw in the goals in the final, the goals against Barcelona, the goals against Everton, every single thing that he's done is memorable. You know what I mean? And I would genuinely, like, for me, see the way you were talking about Park being a United legend, I'd have Origi as a Liverpool legend. Never mind cult hero, I love him. So he's my number 1 cult hero in, what would you call them? Quotations? What were they called? I love the man. I genuinely love him so much. So that's my top 5. Will I run through mine?
Yeah, run through yours.
So my top 5 were Jesus Navas, Hitoshi Nakata, Maximiliano Rodriguez, Michu, and Divock Origi.
So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Those are our top 5 cult heroes.
And we actually put it out to the public as well. We said, who are your cult heroes? So will I read a few out now?
Yeah, of course.
So we have first one, we mentioned him earlier, Monhin's own Sammon. McCaig. He said Olivier Giroud. I think that's a good one.
I think Olivier Giroud would get in the cult heroes.
That's a foil.
It's a foil. It's a throw-in. It's a foil. Now, Sammon said Olivier Giroud, and Giroud's a beautiful man, a beautiful footballer. So we've no qualms with that. We got one of the things said. Sorry for the spam. Love the podcast. We got a few. We actually got 2 or 3 people saying that.
Right.
And one of them was from Joey Darcy. Shout out Joey for sending the love. He said Paolo Di Canio, JJ Okocha. So nice. They named it twice. Diego Forlán. I think that's a great one.
Oh yeah.
Eric Jemba. And then Thomas Gravison. They're all good players. Eric Jemba wasn't great now, but I suppose cult hero status would be referred to. We had Tom, who just purely went with Celtic players, which you're wearing Celtic top right now, so we can't really say anything bad. But he said Henrik Larsson, Scott Brown, Moussa Dembele, and Shinsuke Nakamura, you fucking double.
And he didn't say Odson.
No, he didn't say Odson Edward.
I love Odson.
And then we had Eno, he picked a lot of Premier League stalwarts. Well, soon to be Premier League stalwart, Pontus Jansson of Brentford. Obviously, in Sports Leeds, so he's with Leeds.
Yeah.
He has Morten Gamst Pedersen. What a player. Wonderful left foot. I think there's something graceful about left foot players. He had Benny McCarthy. And see the way Dave said earlier about Peter Crouch and Jermaine Defoe being 1? Yeah. I think Ian put this as 1. He put Demba Ba and Papa Cisse. That's a great show. That's a great show.
They were a great partnership.
And then, last but not least, I'm not going to read all of them, but we had just one. We had Jer saying Nanny. What do you think Nanny is? He a cult hero? Now, Nanny the footballer, not your Nanny, like, you know what I mean?
I thought he said his own Nanny.
She was a great footballer today, as far as I know.
Personally, Nanny, in my opinion, he's a bit of an Aidan McGeady.
Oh, wow, okay.
All sizzle, no steak. That's the way
right.
I've seen him. He was an on and off player.
Definitely it's a medium rare, isn't it?
Had his good days, had his bad days.
Yeah.
That's the way he was. You know?
I remember
Same as Aidan McGeady. Those 2 goals against Georgia.
Oh, at the turn, his right foot on the left
McGeady
foot.
Finn.
Who's that against? Georgia, yeah, Georgia.
Actually, outside show for a cult hero, Aidan McGeady.
Yeah, true.
What do you mean?
What about his time in Sunderland? Did you ever see the Sunderland documentary?
Yeah.
And it's like Christ the Redeemer himself is coming on the pitch in the playoff final, and all these people are hanging on. Ed McGeady, here he comes, and he does nothing and he loses. It's great TV. It's brilliant.
Is that Sunderland till I die?
Yeah. Check it out, man, if you haven't.
Sunderland till I die. I'm Sunderland till I die.
I know I am. I'm sure I am. I'm
Sunderland till I die. Thanks very much, everyone, for submitting their cult, or not their cult heroes, their Get It Out suggestions for this week. We'll be back again at some stage this week.
I'll put it up and people can vote, and then I'll put up the Hall of Fame as well, and I'll put up another suggestion box as well.
Right, everyone, thank you very much for listening to this week's episode of the OnlyFanz football podcast, for the fans, by the fans.
Number 2 in the bag.
Number 2 in Ireland, the podcast is. But no, if you did enjoy the podcast, please follow the Instagram, follow the Spotify, subscribe to the YouTube, and the rest. We'll be hoping to get it on Apple Podcasts soon as well.
Share and all that good stuff as well. We'd appreciate that, wouldn't we?
We'd appreciate a share. Share it around with your mate. Share it around with like I told lads in work today. I was like, here, listen to the intro.
Yeah.
And then they listen to the intro, and I go, share it with your mate.
Do you know what it is?
Share it with your nanny.
Intro gets people hooked. Everyone fucking loves Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah.
Don't they?
And everyone loves Martin Luther King and the junkie. He says, Annie Cats.
Annie Cats! I think we're going to say that every week, aren't we?
But no, share it with anyone you know. Spread the word. That's the most important thing. More than even put it on your Instagram story. Spread the word.
Yeah.
That would help tremendously.
Absolutely.
So that's it.
Thanks very much. And Godspeed.